Hello everyone and welcome back. So we have created multiple elements over the last 7 weeks, and I think it's time now to uh, create some previews and get some renders going off of these elements. So what I have here is a small assembly of everything we've done, and I'm going to go over each one by one. So I have the spaceship. This is the high-res mesh animated. I have the sparks debris, and this is an RBD sim that goes along with the sparks. I have the RBD outer, and this is mainly everything that doesn't have a pres. And then I have the RBD core, and you guys would probably have all of this in the same file. So this is the upresed RBD sim segment. You can see it here. And then I have a debris main, and this is debris for everything coming off of the cracks. And then I have the fire. So the fire elements, I'm gonna try and show that. Yeah, so the preview in Houdini does not show flame. It only looks up for density, but this is the fire fields, fire sims, and I have 4 clusters, so 0 1 0 1 2 3, obviously 1 2 and 3. And I also have the smoke elements, and these are 5 smoke elements, and this we're going to be able to preview. So that's the first one, and then we have the spaceship also element. Okay, so we need to get some renders. So let's create a sky dome, an Arnold light. I'm gonna call this sky dome. I'm gonna give it an AOV or a light group. I'm gonna call this sky. And I'm gonna give it a blue color, and it's a sky dome, something like that. I'm gonna set this to 0.1. I'm gonna set the samples to 3 and 3 and make sure the contribution is off. I don't need any indirect illumination off of this, and I'm gonna turn on the ground. I'm gonna copy this, call this light left. It doesn't matter really, just a light, and it's going to be a distant light pointing this way. I'm gonna set the angle to 5 to get soft shadows. I'm gonna change the color of this. I'm gonna call it left or light 1. I'm gonna call it light 1. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one more time and rotate it to point in a different direction and maybe aim downward. And it's gonna have a different color. It's going to be light 2. And I just need some lights, that's all. I'll explain what I need, what I want from this exactly later. And I'm gonna say this is light 3. I'm gonna create another one, and it's going to be a point light. I'm gonna increase the radius quite a bit. I'm gonna put it in the center. Maybe something like this. Let's put it here. And I'm gonna give it an orange color. And I'm gonna say this light 4. Okay, I don't care about the intensity, I don't care about any of this. I'm gonna just set the exposure to 4 on all of them. Okay, so or maybe let's set the exposure to 1. And let's start with the RBD. So I'm gonna use the RBD core. I'm gonna go to the shop, I'm gonna create an Arnold shader, and this is we're going to use for all the RBD. So RBD preview, I'm gonna drag and drop. I'm gonna dive inside and I'm gonna use a standard surface. And the RBD, I'm just gonna give them an orange, a slightly beige tint. And I'm gonna use reflection. I'm gonna give it a strong roughness and lower the specular. I don't need it to be shiny or reflective because we don't need that much. I'm gonna copy this, apply it to the RBD core as well. And then for the sparks, I'm gonna copy this. For the debris, I'm gonna call this debris preview. Dive inside. And I'm gonna delete this. I want them to be white and I don't need reflection. So this is going to be debris preview and same for the debris main. I'm gonna put these together. And this is for the spaceship. Okay, and then for the spaceship, I am going to copy this, call this spaceship preview. And it's going to be dark and it's going to be reflective. Spaceship preview. Okay. And then we have the smoke, which we're not gonna worry about at the moment. And I just need to get one render. So let's go down. Let's create an Arnold node. And let's look through a decent camera. So cam 1, cool. Both of them are the same. Render cam 1. And for the elements we need, I'm gonna copy the list of the elements that we need. Let's open a text editor. And I need, always on top, I need this, space, this, space, this, space, this, and space this. And then for the lights, I need this one, this one, this one, and this one. And let's make sure that the AUVs are light 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is sky. Okay, so sky and then light 1, 2, 4. Let's go to the out context and plug in these things. So I want to force, because my scene has a lot of stuff, I want to make sure that I only include the things I need. And for the lights, I need these lights. And then for the AUVs, we have to, I'm going to create them now. So the RGB, I need light AUVs for each of this. So RGBA underscore sky, RGBA underscore light 1, light 2, light 3, light 4, and I'm going to add AAA to the in front, look def preview. And I actually don't need any of this, so I'm going to delete it. And let's go here, use AAA to make sure that it gets to the top of the list, and that way I can just hit render. And I don't need all the elements at the moment, so I'm gonna copy this, exclude, and we're going to include one element at a time. So for now, I'm gonna use the RBD outer, and that's it. I don't need anything else. Let's hit render, see what we get. Okay, it's working. And let's take a look at the AUVs. So light 1 or light 4, and let's gain it up. Looks like it's not working. Let's try 3. Okay, so light 4 is not working, but light 3 is. Light 2. light 3, and sky. So just 4, so let's fix that. Okay, why is that? I'm gonna set that to 100, and this is 3, this is 2. Sky. Let's hit render again. Okay. So yeah, light 4 was very low in intensity, so Arnold ignored it. But that's what we have at the moment. And I think the orientation, the way I was looking at the scene, is inverted. So I'll probably have to change a few things. But the idea is I want to get some lights in, and then we will save it to disk, and then we can tweak it afterwards. Okay, so it's rendering. So let's go to the out context and add one more element at a time. So the RBD core, and let's hit render. So this is going to be a bit slow because it needs to process the scene, and then once it finishes that process, it has to export it to the render. So the render is done. Took a couple of seconds for it to finish, and I have everything working. So at the moment, the idea that I have is I want to do a test render with a couple of lights that I can tweak, and I don't care too much about the color. I only care about the shape and what kind of shadows they cast. So light 2 I'm not very happy with. This one I like, so I'm gonna go and change light 2 orientation. So this one, yeah, this one is very flat. So something like that. And I'm going to lower the radius, the shadow softness, sorry. I'm gonna rotate this. That one is fine. That one I'm gonna move here, and this one I'm gonna lower the radius, the angle as well. And let's lower the magnitude or the intensity of this one, the sky dome, and that's it. This is all I need to get my stuff going. Now the fire itself, we're gonna set this up in the next video, but I don't care too much about everything else lighting the fire. I only need the fire illumination on the geometry. Okay, so we're gonna set up a pass and work on that individually. But we also have the smoke element, so we need to do some shader look depth to balance out these two things. Okay, so I'll set that up in the next video, and we're gonna continue. We're gonna work on this a bit more, and then I will explain the remaining process of my look dev workflow. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.